scientific discovery, we now know that the universe did have a beginning, through a Big Bang. Now, not only space and time had a beginning, but matter and energy as well had a beginning. Now, this bang started off as a point of nothing. Zero space, zero volume, nothing. Now, this is kind of a weird concept, so let me use an illustration for this. Alright, see this? Here's a balloon. Now then. And just, I know this is not nothing, but just imagine that this is the point of nothing, okay? You or I could not just observe this because there was no space to occupy around this point, okay? So, something could not just observe it and say, hey, well, look at that. No, you couldn't, okay? So, hey, what caused that?
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
Nothing caused that. Can you really believe that guy? No, you can't. Little bangs have a cause, big bangs have a cause, okay? Little bangs have a bangers, big bangs have bangers. Now, and just as I could not have looked or observed at this point of nothing, the cause had to be spaceless, because there was no space for the cause to even occupy. And because matter, time, and space are codependent, if something is spaceless, it is also immaterial and timeless as well, the very traits of God. Moreover, it would have to be personal. For how could a changeless cause give rise to something if it were changeless? In order to cause something, it would have to be able to make choices. And if it can make choices, then it's personal. Think about it. If something were in an eternal and changeless state, then in order to start something or give rise to something, it would have to make that choice to do so.
The design argument. There are about 35 constants or parameters of physics that have to be finely tuned to an incomprehensible degree. For example, PCW Davis has calculated that the odds against the initial conditions being suitable for a star formation is 1 followed by 1,000 billion zeros at least. Also, if gravity were tweaked 1 part in 10 to the 40th power, we would not be here. And there are at least 35 of these parameters. Some atheists have suggested that the state of the constants are natural necessities and could not vary. Well, this could only apply to some of them, and would not apply to some of the things that would not be immediately necessary for the early stages of the universe, such as entropy and the expansion of the universe, with which these alone would still make this universe extremely improbable. These facts seem to suggest that there was a cosmic designer who intended life to be here.
Not only is our universe and planet finely tuned for life, it is also extremely fine-tuned for observation. For example, have you noticed that if you see a solar eclipse, if it's right over the sun, that's because the ratio of the distance of the sun and moon between the Earth is the same as the ratio of the surface area of the sun and moon. Not only does this look cool, but because of this, we have been able to make scientific discoveries that otherwise we would not be able to make, if this were not the case. Because of this, we are able to find out the nature of the surface of the sun. It also helped astronomers confirm the fact that gravity bends light. And perfect eclipses have provided an historical record that has enabled astronomers to calculate changes in the Earth's rotation over the past several thousand years. This enabled us to put our ancient calendars on our modern calendar system, which was extremely significant. Another thing that favors observation is the clarity of our atmosphere, which allows the science of astronomy and cosmology to flourish. Also, our particular location in the Milky Way galaxy is the prime spot for observation. It is an excellent position to detect the cosmic background radiation, which is critically important because it contains invaluable information about the properties of the universe. Our location also provides us with a privileged vantage point for observing nearby and distant stars. Also, the fact that we have heavy metals on our planet, which is not necessary for life, but absolutely critical for a modern culture, which indicates that not only is this planet designed for life, but it is designed for observation. Scientists have figured out that the probability of all the amino acids randomly assembling to form the 200 proteins necessary for even the most simplest form of life is 1 over 10 to the 40,000th power. Think about it. As a species, the human race can make a lot of high-tech stuff, such as computers, airplanes, and submarines, but we still cannot create life. If a computer needs a designer, the first life, being infinitely more complex than a computer, also needs a designer.
Sufficient universe. Now that the limits of the universe have been established, it is possible to calculate whether it is large enough and old enough to produce life by natural processes. The universe contains no more than 10 to the 80th atoms, and has been in existence for no more than 10 to the 18th power seconds. It is too small and too young to permit life to be assembled by natural processes. Researchers who are both theists and non-theists in a variety of disciplines have arrived at these calculations.
Probably the most significant discovery in biology is DNA, which is information in the genetic code. A one-celled amoeba, that is what the Darwinists say that we came from, has in its DNA the amount of information that is in 1,000 complete sets of Encyclopedia Britannica. 1,000 complete sets of Encyclopedia Britannica? Now where did all this information come from? Certainly not natural law, because natural law does not create messages like we find in the DNA. To say that all this information came by chance is like saying the Library of Congress resulted from an explosion in a printing shop. I don't have enough faith to believe that. Not only have we determined that God exists, but also what type of God it is. From the cosmological argument, we know that this is a God who transcends matter, space, and time, who is also personal, which eliminates the bulk of gods out there, including Zeus and Thor and all the other pagan religions. It also eliminates pantheism, that is, God is the universe and everything else in it. It just so happens that this is the very same God that is described in the Bible.